everybody. Welcome to another Cyber conversation. I'm Kanti. I'm the director of the Cyber Institute. And today I have with me a special guest, Alexis Diediker. She is an OCO consultant, which I wasn't aware when I first saw what it meant, but I had to look it up. And it's offensive cyber operations consultant and pen tester with ProCircular of Iowa. She holds a range of prestigious certifications, including Security Plus, PenTest Plus, PNPT, CRTO, GCIH, and more, which showcases a deep commitment to and expertise in the field. She began her academic journey with an associate's degree in IT cybersecurity from Eastern Iowa Community College. Eager to expand her knowledge and skills, she's currently pursuing both a bachelor's and a master's degree in IT cybersecurity from Western Governors University. Her dedication to the field has been recognized through the SANS Institute Women of Cyber Scholarship Award, which underscores her status as an emerging leader in cybersecurity. Alexis brings a wealth of knowledge, a practical experience, and a passion for security that make her an invaluable resource in the fight against cyber threats. Alexis, thank you so much for being a guest on Cyber Conversations. The floor is now yours.
Awesome. Yeah. Thanks for having me. Yeah, like you said, I sound very fancy in that bio, but I basically get to do a lot of offensive security for ProCircular and a lot of our clients and engagements here in the Midwest area. So primarily Iowa, Minnesota, areas like that. And I do ethical hacking. So I help organizations kind of figure out where their blind spots are when it comes to their security. And I get to rip and roar through networks and then help them fix it. So I get to be like the bad guy and the good guy all in one kind of engagement. So it's super rewarding. And other than that, yeah, I like to ride motorcycles and hang out with my pet children and just relax for the most part. So
It is so cool though. I was reading through your bio and I go, oh my gosh, the certifications, that's what got me. And I kept thinking, that is a lot, that is an impressive amount of certifications, and they're not easy. They're really not easy. What before we even get into that, let me take a step back and ask you the first question. I was going through your bio, was reading articles and everything, and I saw one from the school, the Eastern Iowa Community College, and the article they had done on you, right? So prior to coming into cybersecurity, you were bartending. What inspired you to transition from bartending to cyber? Like, can you walk us through your path in cyber? Like how you first became interested in the field and what steps you took to come into the field?
yeah, absolutely. So bartending inspired me to leave bartending. I had been in the food and beverage industry for about 14 years, and it was great for what it offered. But as I got older, I just changed wanting to be kind of that outroverted person and really wanted to hone in and have a career and stability. And I truly had no idea what I wanted to do. So I looked up careers of things that you like, because my grandmother always tells me that as long as you have to find what you're naturally good at or you naturally like to do, and then base your career around that, and then you'll be happy for life. So I have always been a troublemaker and curious and adventurous. So penetration testing really filled like all of the boxes for me. It checked all the boxes when it came to, as far as surviving on a good salary and things that would truly interest me. And I kind of took a leap of faith and just enrolled in school just to kind of get a baseline of education. Because 5 years ago, I didn't know what a hard drive was. I knew how to HTML ML code my MySpace profile and get past the safe login for X or XP Windows, but back in the day. But other than that, like I hadn't really messed with computers a lot. I was a complete end user newbie, and it was terrifying. But I became obsessed right away, And I knew that because I was older, generally than the people, I'm in my later 30s now. So I started in my early 30s, and I knew that I needed to really figure out what my path was going to be in order to succeed as quickly as I wanted to. So I did a lot of research. I researched certifications, what ones were recommended for the career path I wanted. I looked up whether school was the best option. I looked up different kind of like ways to gain experience without actually having a job, and things that could be considered experience, I guess, in the field and to potential employers. And I kind of just planned my own path in a way that I wouldn't cheat myself or feel like I regretted not doing something. And I decided that school, so degrees, certifications, and literally turning nothing down the past 3 to 4 years has been my game plan. And it's been amazing. So I've gotten a lot of awesome opportunities, and I was handed my dream job 2 years ago, and I couldn't, ask for any better results than that. So yeah, yeah,
That's amazing. And one thing too, the one thing people need to know about cyber, literally what we were talking about earlier, is there's no one straight path. There's no one or only one path to get into cyber. I know people who have shifted, who have started working in cybersecurity, who were proper healthcare professionals, like not healthcare IT, but actual healthcare professionals, and they transition into cyber, and they still were able to contribute and have their skills recognized and valued in the field itself. So it's very nice to see you that you are so interested in cyber, and that it has been nice for you as well.
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I meet people all the time that have different paths. I mean, we had a senior who didn't have any degrees, didn't have any certifications, and he was a senior tester. But I feel like it's awesome because bringing in my social skills from bartending really helped with social engineering,
Yeah.
fishing and fishing campaigns. It's just you bring a different perspective when you come from a different background, and employers really like that. They seek that out.
Exactly. And having those skills comes in handy. It really does. What you mentioned just now about social engineering, I can imagine the skills that you have developed over time, right? Through bartending, through being in those social situations, you can read people a lot better than, say, somebody who's never, been that kind of a person, or who has been an introvert for a long period of time.
Yeah, yeah, that definitely shined through for sure. So I'm super grateful, if anything, from my past experience for the ability to have that as kind of a top tier skill.
So kind of moving again towards the certifications part, you have earned many certifications. Can you tell us the motivation behind wanting to get those certifications? I have actually two follow-up questions to that as well.
Yeah, yeah. So I actually started with the company I'm with, ProCircular, as an intern. And so I had already kind of mentally planned what certifications I wanted in my head based off of my own research. And I knew that I wanted to be a penetration tester, and I was already interning with the offensive team and working with penetration testers. And I knew I didn't want to get any lower position or any different position that I didn't want after working with them, So I knew I was going to be missing it far too much. So my boss and I kind of really just motivated me to fast pass and get the skills I needed with those certifications to really prove it, because you can't cheat years of experience, and I guess you can't cheat certifications, but they can help excel you and prove that you are willing to put in the work and the effort, not only, but also that you have the knowledge and the skills that you need to get the job done. So that was my main motivation, is my dream position. And so it got me there, and it was an insane 3 to 4 years. I was never not nose deep in a book. or studying for something. And now I've calmed down a little bit. It's just school and work for me. So until I kind of get some more free time, I'm glad to have a little break from the exam center. So
So do you then find a difference, or not a difference exactly, but the conversation around getting a degree versus getting a certification? What's your take on that?
I think, there's a lot of opinions, and I think that you need to truly be honest with yourself. If you don't come with foundational technology knowledge, the foundational education that I got from going to school, not only was it structured and I didn't have to manage that, which now it's different because it's more of freelance schooling, but they structure it for you. They keep you on track. There's tons of awesome resources and scholarships and clubs and networking opportunities. So it's not just boring classes and a big student loan bill. It was I couldn't have done without it. It taught me so many things as far as your basics that I need to know every single day. I wish I could have just gone straight to hacking networks and poisoning network traffic, but unfortunately, I had to know what that traffic was doing and why what I was doing was working or not working. So, I would say if you feel like you don't need that foundational knowledge and that you've already done enough to get you where you need to go, then just focus on maybe some hack the box modules or try hack me modules that will get you into that offensive or defensive zone that you want to be in. But yeah, no, it's not necessary. I would say that my bosses look more for your hunger in the career and your ability to work with others rather than your credentials. But then again, they still can come into play and everybody's different. So I would just say don't cheat yourself. Even if you feel like you maybe aren't 100% at something, maybe just take a couple classes. I mean, it's always teaching me something new no matter what. So yeah.
That's such a good take on it because a lot of people they focus so much on one or the other and they have these great conversations, arguments over which one is better. But like you just put so wonderfully, it's really important to have a good foundation before you build on top of it, before you go and dive deep into the workforce and you get that foundational knowledge by going to school, by taking a couple of classes. So that was very well put.
Yeah, you definitely don't want to trip on your feet once you get too ahead of yourself because you're only going to fail yourself. And I mean, you're going to notice more than your employer probably will. So, I mean, it's really up to you. Like I said, don't cheat yourself. You're only kind of ruining it for yourself in that way.
Yeah. So then out of all of the certifications, which so far, which one was the most challenging and how did you prepare for it?
They were all challenging in their own way. I was brand new to certifications in general. I had never taken a test outside of like a school environment. So learning how to prepare and the process, that was really tough in general. So a lot of my beginning ones were the CompTIA ones, and those are always worded a little tricky. So frustrating. And managing emotions and getting things done that way. The most difficult would be the practical ones, like the PNPT and the CRTO. I think we overthink things so much and go into things just not always prepared for the right obstacles. And so I would just say, I would say those two, but they were the most fun too. So it really is like a toss up. Yeah, and SANS was also tough because I mean, they had handed me a scholarship for about, the price of like a brand new car, basically, of certifications, and to not let them down. It was also during my very last semester, and I was also doing honors in my independent studies. So it was a lot going on at once. And preparing for those is just I study, I overstudy, and then you just mentally got to make yourself do it because the knowledge is there and you're probably more ready than you think you are. It's just about having the confidence to move forward.
So well, let me say that again. I was going through your LinkedIn and I saw on there that you also were a network technician. So now that you've worked both in network technology and offensive cybersecurity, do you feel like your background in network technology has helped your current role?
I don't think there's anything in this world that would have prepared me for my current role, to be honest. Everything I do on a daily basis, aside from maybe the Nmap tool, I knew absolutely nothing about. And the network technician position was more like troubleshooting and solving problems for other people, whereas now I kind of create problems. So it's a whole different, it's definitely on a whole different realm and a whole different planet than my network technician role. But I think it was nice to get my feet wet and to just get that on the books in case I needed it. But luckily, I ended up with an amazing company that knew I was coming in pretty pretty slow to what's going on, and just really just helped me deal with drinking from a fire hose and supported me the whole way. So I got really lucky. So
I mean, that's really good to know that employers have your back because you hear so many horror stories about them being very unsupportive.
yeah, yeah, I hear it a lot in general, especially in the like offensive realm and being ethical, whether you're a white hat hacker, black hat, gray hat, there's a lot of gatekeeping and a lot of superiority kind of complex. I think unfortunately that just comes with being in an environment with men, because I feel like all the women I've met have been more than supportive. But yeah, you're gonna get a lot of those attitudes.
Yeah.
That's why just know that you've worked your butt off. And once you have that confidence and knowledge that you do know what you're talking about and you hold true to that, I think that nobody can really stray you from the positive attitude that you need to have to succeed in this career.
That is so true because even today, this field is predominantly male oriented because we see a lot of people that have held positions or that came into these positions because of the years that they put in another role in the same company, and they kind of transition easily, relatively easily from there to here. And we see so less of, women and other minorities in the field. Thankfully it's changing now, but still a ways to go. So the only thing to do, like you just said, is to know that you put in the work, that you have the skill, that you have the knowledge, that you know what you're doing, and it it's really the only way to go. But then again, it leads me to another question for you. Sometimes, right, we all have these moments of self-doubt, like, oh my gosh, am I really doing it well? Like, am I qualified for this? Do you ever have those feelings of imposter syndrome? And if you do, what do you do to overcome?
In the beginning, I really did, especially when I got handed my dream position, which pretty much skips 5 steps on the ladder from where I came from. So it really kind of was a lot, very overwhelming. But what I've learned, and it's amazing when you kind of have that aha moment, and everybody I think sees it when they've been in this industry long enough, is everyone, everyone feels that way, and everyone is struggling with something. Like someone might not remember their Nmap flags and be struggling with that, you know what I mean, or has never used it, yet they're really great at writing malware. I mean, we all have holes or have forgotten certain skills or knowledge that we've learned along the way, and we all struggle with something. So if anybody is acting completely 100% confident and knowledgeable about everything, they're hiding something, because we're all struggling with something. We all reach roadblocks, if I'm testing on a protocol I've never messed with before, it's normal. I don't feel like I'm less than because I have never done it. And maybe one of my coworkers has. It's a learning process. And I think that once you see that the people who are kind of acting the smartest are really not, then it really puts it into perspective for you that we're all kind of just faking it till we make it in our own way. So, I mean, it's in the wild. Everybody's feeling it. But yeah, just like I said, staying confident with what I know and knowing that I have the ability to do a good job and I care. I know that matters the most to customers, especially. Um, so if I don't know how to, pen test maybe, a super old protocol or something, I know that they're going to care far less about that than they are about me genuinely like deep diving into their network to help them out.
And once again, it kind of goes back or falls back onto having really supportive employers as well, but also knowing that you know the skill, that you've put in the work, that you've put in the time. Because I will tell you, I have never worked in this industry. I have been a lifelong student, like at school. I'm currently wrapping up my dissertation. I will be done in the summer and I'll be a PhD in the summer. So I have never actually worked in the industry, but I still have these moments of self-doubt myself. Like, do I have enough knowledge to be teaching my students? Because I'm currently teaching faculty here at my university. And I always have these moments like, do I know enough to be teaching them? Because sometimes you get these super smart students that I feel like I don't know what I could teach them. Like, I don't really know what I could teach them. And when I have those moments of self-doubt and when they get a little bit too big, I talk to my friend. And we go through this like exercise, like, tell me what else I'd be good at. Like, if I didn't do this, so what else would I be good at? And we kind of go back and forth thinking about like fun, silly things that just kind of moves you away from that moment of self-doubt, which helps a lot, honestly. So
Yeah, I also think that if there's ever like a moment where a topic or something does make me feel that way, I'll just say to myself, okay, that's just something that I need to learn, or that's just something I need to work on. And maybe I'll make myself a little bit more uncomfortable the next engagement and work on simply only that skill in the beginning so that, I can feel more confident. Because like I said, there's so many little topics and niches in this industry that like there's
yeah,
nobody that knows it all. So it's
no, I don't think that's even a possibility of one person knowing it all.
I know. I'm a perfectionist, so I am in mentally trying, but no, no, but no, yeah, that's awesome. Congratulations to you, by the way.
Thank you. Thank
Yeah.
you. Um, this question actually kind of leads me to my next one. I also saw that you have a YouTube channel called Red Team Rookie. What was the inspiration behind creating this educational red teaming channel on YouTube?
Yeah. So I'm kind of like the token girl on the team. So they send me to do a lot of and I just have worked in the service industry, so I know how to talk to people. But also I have the opportunity to be basically a noob that's an excelled noob, newcomer, basically, that can still explain things to people in a way that isn't super technical and like gibberish at that point. Because I feel like
Mm,
at some point people go into this foreign language of tech and
yep.
non-technical people just don't understand
They
what the
didn't
heck they're
understand.
saying.
No,
So
no.
I speak a lot at conventions, especially students and people coming in after me at EICC that I went to. And I always feel terrible when I can't answer like an email or something right away. So I was like, all right, I keep getting the same questions over and over again about my path, about what certifications I took and my process for them. And also I want to just kind of teach people and show them attacks that I do on a daily basis that I think are super neat. So I made that YouTube channel and I have no idea what I'm doing. but I'm slowly learning like video editing, and it just kind of helps me get to a mass of people, or maybe people who are scared to ask, students or anything like that. I always point them to my YouTube, because then they don't have to email me, or, sometimes
Yeah.
they just don't want to do it, and they'll go to a YouTube channel instead because it doesn't involve human interaction, and then they
Yeah.
can still learn something. So I thought that was indispensable, because that's kind of how I learned, was through YouTube channels and other people I see walking around at conventions. So yeah, I wanted to put my part in and kind of also help my time consuming schedule as well, so that I'm actually able to answer people's questions.
That's awesome.
Thanks.
Um, so then kind of going back to the degrees and the certifications, you currently are pursuing both a bachelor's and a master's, right? So, how do you balance pursuing education with working full time, especially in such a demanding role?
You don't. You do, but you don't. So I kind of knew going into this career, going into my associates as well as my bachelor's, which I'm about to finish up this term, thank goodness. You decide. I mean, do you want what you want to spend your time and your effort on? And I think I spent a lot of my young life already really living and being fun and crazy and all over the place. And now I really want to buckle down and ensure my future. The best way to do that, I think that speaks different languages to different employers. So I really have a wide spectrum, like a wide range of proof of credentials, is to go about, getting the best degree I can. So that's why I took that on, and I I try to balance it. It doesn't always work out. Luckily, WGU is set up where you kind of do classes on your own time schedule. So yeah, I kind of fit those in whenever I can, and then whatever time I have left over is spent with my family, or maybe seeing the sun every once in a while. So
So, this next one is kind of a more outside kind of a reference, which honestly I had to look up. It's like I know the name, I just couldn't figure out where I knew it from. So on your LinkedIn profile, right, in your title, you referenced you want being an acid burn wannabe. So for those of you that don't know what that means, it's the alias or the hacker name of Angelina Jolie's character from the movie Hackers.
mhm.
I've watched the movie and I was like, I know the name, but I just couldn't place it. And so you mentioned that in your LinkedIn title. Is what's the inspiration behind that? And as a follow-up, has or how has pop culture, movies, TV series, have they played any part in your passion for cybersecurity?
So yeah, Hackers is one of my favorite movies. I was obsessed with Angelina Jolie growing up. I thought she was the prettiest woman I had ever seen. And I loved her spunk and attitude and everything she played in. So I think when I was like a really young teenager, I watched like every movie I could possibly rent from a Blockbuster at that time without them telling me I couldn't. I'm aging myself right now. But yeah, so I saw Hackers and I thought she was the coolest person ever in that movie. And I was like, oh my gosh. I also wanted to be her in Tomb Raider too, but unfortunately, archaeology is not paying as well as cybersecurity. I'm just kidding.
No.
But so yeah, that was kind of like I came in and I learned that everybody in the ethical hacking, and even not OCO side, offensive side necessarily, but everybody
Mhm.
kind of has their own little handle, their own little nickname.
Yeah.
I was like, well, I need one. It can't be B side or it can't be acid burn because that's already technically somebody. So I am just B side acid burn, like the B side of a tape with like the not as good songs. That's me. So yeah, it just kind of stuck. Um, Ever since. It's been like all my handles on social media for the most part, other than Red Team Rookie now. And as far as movies, movies didn't really inspire me with cybersecurity, but they did afterwards. Mr. Robot was really cool to watch
Really good
afterwards.
series.
Yeah, and now it's so crazy how like I was watching the Netflix season first season of You. Um
Oh.
and there's a couple references in there about hacking phones, and I understood everything they were talking. I was like, that's so wild that back when I first watched that, I had no idea what that any of that meant. So now it's cool. They don't make a lot of cool movies around hacking, really,
No.
unfortunately. I wish they did, or like prior attacks, like to really go over them, like Lizard Squad's attacks and stuff like that. I that would
Like
be
documentaries, kind of.
yeah, that would be
Yeah.
so awesome to see. I think a lot of people just don't understand it, and that's why there's not a lot of movies around it. So, I
Yeah.
mean, there's an opportunity out there for anybody looking. So,
Yeah. And then it's so glamorized the way or the cybersecurity field, it's so glamorous in the movies and the TV series. They're like typing something and they go, I'm in. Like how do you get in like a second? That's not happening. And to go into a federal system,
yeah.
into a federal database, are you saying that you're that smart? Or are you saying that the government database is not that secure? Like it doesn't make any sense.
Sometimes the databases do not be that secure, but
Hmm.
I
Hmm.
have to explain to especially like high school students or people who are very non-technical. I'm like it's like a very slow motion version of that when I
Yeah.
do what I do. And I always say that hackers do it in a tenth of the time that I do, because when I do it, I have to be taking screenshots of everything I'm doing. I timestamp every tool I run. I mean, it's all essential information for the customer. So it's almost like
Yeah.
a very slow version of a really cool, super sick process. But
Yeah.
obviously,
Because a lot of people don't realize that there's so much documentation, so much paperwork and writing that goes with cybersecurity. They only see this very fancy thing in the movies and TV series, and they think, oh, yeah, that's cyber. No, not all
yeah,
of it. Not all of
no,
it.
it's still in my head a little bit. It is, but that's only because I've accepted the reporting process as just like a necessary evil. So,
Yeah, necessary evil. I
yeah.
like that. So coming back to other things, so far, right, you've pivoted from one career to a completely different career. So in doing so, what are some challenges that you have faced, and how were you able to navigate through those challenges?
Yeah, so I obviously my time schedule or my work schedule is a lot different. So waking up early was a big challenge for me, but now I'm up at 5 a.m. for the gym and then back home for work. But I think I really had to get my organization and my routine down. So I think those are super essential things, but a lot of people already kind of naturally have those. Um, Man, what really did change? Well, I mean, my whole life has changed. It's completely different. I wasn't used to like salary or benefits. Or my first time on PTO, I was slightly confused all day because I'm like, you're just paying me to do nothing.
Yeah.
I don't have to get my shift cover. It's very odd. It's definitely weird. But other than that, just learning how to take a very serious and very kind of sometimes scarily critical job in a way that's isn't constantly stressing you out, trying to find
Mhm.
your own kind of peace and how you want to change. Because whereas I used to be somebody who would go out and bartend and talk to people all the time, now I can barely see me leaving my apartment. I love it. Sometimes you change as a person. I think just getting ready for that, just in case, and that it's okay. It's okay to be different than what you were is also a part of the process. Yeah.
So, with that said, what does a typical day at work look like for you?
Yeah. So the gym every morning, and then I wake and then I work remote, so it's amazing. I love it. I'm actually probably more productive from my home space than I would be from an office. I'm a lot more comfortable. So I sit down and I check what, engagements I have on the calendar. I make sure everything is prepped and ready to go. I keep notes on literally everything. I have 3 different calendars that I reference every single day. It's different, I have my own little way to keep the chaos kind of balanced. And so if it's a typical engagement, I'll generally, go in and start looking for vulnerabilities, exploitations, mapping attack paths, enumerating customers' network while also staying in contact with them throughout the day. But if it's like a reporting day, I settle in with lots of iced coffee and I sit down and lots of redaction of screenshots. I think I spend several hours per report on redacting sensitive information and then really just writing things out in a way that I know my customer will understand it. So, yeah. But I did get to do, I got to do a rogue device testing at a medical facility. So that was new. I got to, walk around a medical facility in places that I'm normally not allowed to go. So that was very, very cool. So sometimes you get cool little stuff like that too.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Now that you've been in the field for a little bit, what do you think are the most important qualities uh, for a successful cybersecurity professional to have? And how can young girls learn these or develop these qualities and skills?
Yeah. So I think the number one is hunger, a constant hunger for learning in this industry. You are never done learning. There's always new things all the time. I mean, quantum computing is right around the corner. So yeah, I think you have to be obsessed enough where you don't mind having to relearn things all the time. That's a necessary part of staying up to date and keeping everything upskilled. And that can't really be learned. That's just kind of like, if you know this is what you want to do, then that generally makes you happy, is being able to learn cool new things and new ways to exploit things or protect things. As far as skills that you can learn, humility, just staying humble. I mean, there can be some very big egos in this industry. So I think staying humble and, realizing that not everybody knows everything, including ourselves, it's nice. And people truly appreciate when you come at them with humility rather than with, some kind of big ego and attitude that you know more than them. It's not super inviting and nobody wants that. And especially for women, definitely strength. Just come in with strength. These boys are more scared of you than you are of them, especially. I terrify everybody on my team. I don't even do anything. So, I mean, yeah, we luckily have the advantage of we are few. I say it as an advantage because I think it's great. I love to be a part of the 13% of female penetration testers because the guys are scared of us. And I feel like we just naturally have more motivation because we feel like we have to work harder than them. And we've been socialized to take care of things before other people do and to be the providers. So I think although that sucks about society, it's awesome for us because we're going to be kicking butt left and right. So yeah, just really finding your place and your confidence through all of that is key. Yeah.
We are almost out of time, so I'm going to wrap up with one last question. Now that this hasn't been mentioned before, but what is one piece of advice that you would give to all the young people that are watching this session?
One piece of advice. Wow. Always be kind to everyone in this industry. It's a very small industry and you can learn everything in the world, but if you don't learn how to be kind and and accepting and patient with people, then you're pretty much gonna get, either you'll get the job, but your whole team won't like you, or, it's just really about having kindness. And I think not gatekeeping and teaching where you can and really sharing your knowledge, I think is super essential. So yeah, just keep a good head on your shoulders and share with people who need help below you, because you will encounter them sooner rather than later. And, always help when you can above everything. So
That is wonderful, wonderful advice. Not just in the field, but also in general, to always be kind. It's such good advice.
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, because I don't take well to non-kind people. So I'm just, yeah,
Yeah.
be nice. It's not hard. So
No, it's really not. Once again, thank you so much for being a guest on Cyber Conversations. We appreciate that you've taken time out of your day and done this session with us. So thank you.
of course, yeah. Thanks for having me.